Conversations about the latest and the greatest in the world. We can talk about that man, or you can tell me about old girl. Got a secret, hey, don't lay it on me. You need a friend, I'll be your big homie. Let's take a sip and talk it out. Therapy without the couch. On the rocks is what you need. Come toast reality with me, hey. Now tuned in to Rhonda on the Rocks.
All right, what's up, everybody? Let me see how I get myself back on the screen. How do I make myself big again? Hold on. You would think I've never done this before. Ciao. What's happening? I don't know how to make myself big, guys. I see the chat. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming in. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I see. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. I say this every single time that I'm really excited to be here, but literally, like quite literally, I am so excited to be here, not just on this podcast, but in the land of the living. If you know, you know. But we'll get into all of that in a little bit. I first want to just take a deep breath. I am going to share some things tonight that make me pretty emotional, but also make me laugh quite a bit. And so if you know me, I very much subscribe to dark humor. I think that damn near everything is funny. And so there'll be a mixture of that tonight. I'm also going to give God some glory. So if you're offended by that, I don't know what to tell you. This is probably not the live for you. But it's going to be a good blend, a good mixture of me just letting you know about my wild ride. Quite literally a wild ride, but we'll get into that in a second. Shout out to the people who are already in the comments, to my friend D, Julia, Devin. Hey, y'all. Hey. Forgive me if I'm not like as attentive to the chat. I haven't mastered a good balance with that yet, but I'm gonna do my best. So hey to everybody who's here. Happy that you are here. Do me a favor. If you guys could share this on your social medias and just tag me, I would greatly appreciate it. This is one of those episodes where the more people that are tuned in, the better. And not just because for content purposes, but because telling a story over and over again is becoming more and more challenging. So I would rather have everyone in the room. We kind of have a meeting, we talk about it, and we move on. Hey, the cauliflower crew in here. Okay, cauliflower crew. That's my other family. There's the rock stars. Those are my people. And then I'm a part of the cauliflower crew for the Boys Please Whatever podcast. Also, if you are not subscribed to the Boy Please Whatever podcast, my good friend D Smith is the host of that. Please go subscribe to that. It is Boy Please Whatever on Instagram, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and here on YouTube. He has some amazing episodes coming up. And so I'm going to be tuned into those, and you should be tuned into those too. He really is doing some amazing things, and I want to publicly say how proud of him I am. So shout out to my boy, Dietrich. That's my baby. All right. So the first thing that we're going to jump into is the weekend rundown. And I wanted to kind of share like what else has been up besides the car accident. So I decided on New Year's Eve this year that I wanted to be, or last year, I guess, that I wanted to be really intentional. Like I wanted the theme of my year, of my 2026, to be intentional. I wanted to be really intentional. So because of that, every month, I'm going to do some type of solo date. So I went back and forth with myself because I was like, well, I don't know if I want to record it. Is this something that I just keep to myself? I didn't really know how I wanted to do it, but for the month of January, I did make a reel. I took some videos and stuff throughout the date and posted a reel. So you can check that out on my Instagram at Rhonda on the Rocks. So I went on a solo date on Saturday. I took myself to a paint and sip, which was so much fun. I felt like it was something that was very easy to do alone because you're in a room with other people, but you're kind of like by yourself. It was also a way to kind of be creative, kind of get my mind off of all of the things that I have going on post car crash. And then I walked down the street to this restaurant and bar that I wanted to go to and sat at the bar, watched the football game, had a good meal. I really had a good time by myself. Like I am a fun person to be around in a crowd, but I really realized through that solo date, like I really enjoy spending time with myself and just trying new activities. And so my thing for the year is like, I'm not waiting on nobody. Like if I want to try a restaurant, if I want to go out of town, if there's something in another state or another country that I want to do, I'm just going to do it. And then I'm going to tell people like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And if people want to join in, they're welcome. But if not, that's fine too. I really just want to get to know myself better and just enjoy time with myself. Now, I am single. So if y'all know anybody, let me know. I am single. I do live alone, but it's something different about engaging with the world around you solo. Like in my house, like it's me. I enjoy being here alone, but it's something different when you're out in public and you like, I'm just doing my thing. Like I'm doing my little paint and sip and all of that. And it was a really good time. I really, really enjoyed that. And I recommend it. I think that other people should try that as well. So that was my weekend rundown. Okay, let's get into it. So I want to first just start off by saying like, I never thought that this would be my life in 2026. I did not imagine, out of all of the things that I thought would be at the start of my year, this is not what I thought. And so Sunday, January 11th, started off as a regular day, but the difference was I overslept and did not make it to church. So I have been visiting a church here in Chicago, New Life Covenant Southeast, Pastor John Hanna. I have been visiting that church since like August, but my mom is also the pastor of the church that I grew up in. And so I've been going to both churches for the last few months. But I go to New Life at 9:30, then I go to my church at like 11:30. And so I missed church, but I was like, oh, I'm just going to watch it. Now, I'm not a church watcher from the bed. Like I'm just not that person. If I miss church, I just missed it. Like I'm not a YouTube church watcher. Not for any particular reason. I just never do. I'm like, if I overslept, I may as well go back to sleep. Like, I don't know. But that particular Sunday, I was like, I'm just gonna watch it. And so I turn it on, and Pastor Hannah's theme and New Life's theme for the year is that this is our light year. Light, L-I-G-H-T. This is our light year. And it's rooted in a scripture in Matthew that talks about my yoke being easy, my burden being light. And so that's the foundation. That's what we've been, that's been our declaration for the year. And so during the service, one of the things that really stood out to me is Pastor Hannah talked about watching how we respond when trouble comes, because it will. Although this is our light year and we're believing God that things are going to be light and things are going to be easy and things are going to we're going to have favor and all of those things. Trouble, as sure as my name is what it is going to come. But we have to be mindful of how we respond. And I was like, yeah. And then he talked about how we're tempted to curse people out, or we're tempted to, how are we responding? And so listen to that. And I was like, okay. Got up, got dressed. I was so cute Sunday, y'all. Sunday, January 11th, I was so cute. And I was like, ooh, I'm not going to post no pictures on Instagram just yet. I'm going to wait. And I'm going to post them later. When you get back home and rub your feet together in that bed and you post all your pictures, that was the plan. Okay. So I went to my church, and my mom's message was very similar to Pastor Hannah. They even sang the same song. There's a song by Maverick City called Firm Foundation. Pastor Hannah sang that song at 9:30. My mom sang that song at 11:30. And I was like, wow, and it talks about Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. When everything around me shaking, I've never been more glad, because I put my faith in Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. And then one of the parts of the song says, rain came, wind blew, but I put my faith in you. Something similar to that. But anyway, it talks about the rain coming and the wind blowing, but Christ is our firm foundation, so we're not shaking. Okay. So they both sang that song. I said, okay, everybody on one accord. Still not thinking anything. Okay. So as I'm leaving church, my right hand to God, I have this fleeting thought, I wouldn't mind having a new car. I drove a 2021 Cadillac XT5. So SUV, Cadillac, nice car. Love my truck. But I had driven it so much. I have so many miles on it. I had just kind of gotten out of my warranty, and I paid for an extended warranty and had gone through those miles as well. So I'm like, I wouldn't mind having a new car. I've never had a car with a sunroof. So I want to kind of get a new car with a sunroof. And I'm just the thinking, just the driving. And I was like, would I get another Cadillac? Would I get, you're just thinking, nothing to it. So I thought. And so I drove to Target. It was my friend's baby shower that day. And so went in Target, got her a gift, went to the baby shower, had a good time at the baby shower. And during the baby shower, there were some friends that I went to high school with there, people I hadn't seen in a while. My friend, obviously, and her fiance, a joyous time. But something in me just felt blah. I didn't know how to describe it. I still don't really know how to describe it, but it just felt I don't know, something that I just couldn't shake. So much so that a friend that I went to high school with asked me, why are you so quiet? And I'm like, nothing's wrong that I can pinpoint. Nothing is wrong. I don't know. I'm just quiet. And so I got my stuff, we celebrated, had fun, played games. I won 2 games. We won this make up a baby song game, and then I won some other game. So good time. So I got my belongings when it was time to go, walked to my car, and I am just driving home. And I had a thought for a second. I was like, oh, I look really cute today. Maybe I won't go home. Maybe I'll go to a bar, give me a little lemon drop, see who I can see. Thought about going to a hookah lounge. I'm just just driving home. And so if you know anything about Chicago, there's an expressway called the Bishop Ford or the Dan Ryan, whatever. And people drive on there like it's NASCAR. Like so much so that if I leave the city late, I won't take the Dan Ryan home. I'll go all the way on the 294, which is the toll, pay the toll, and go all the way up on the outskirts of the city to drive home, because it gets scary at night. Like I feel like people just drive like they don't have the sense God gave them. And so it's a Sunday, there's no traffic. I'm literally just driving along. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this car. Now I'm driving forward, like I'm looking at y'all. The car, the front of the car is coming at me like this. So I say, when I see the car, I say, no. That was the only thing that could come out of my mouth. No, like, because it looked, imagine that. Like, my mind was having a hard time, like, computing what was actually happening. So because my mind I couldn't, like, there was nothing to do. Before I could have another thought, boom, like I'm hit. I am sliding. I am flipping down, like my car is rolling down the highway. I know that I slid for a while because I remember being on my side like this and the airbags coming out. And I remember there was a long moment of silence. Sorry. There was a long moment of silence where the world just went quiet. Like there was no sound. I could not hear the car. All I could hear was myself saying, God, please, like, please. And it was just me and God in that moment. And it felt like God was like deciding whether he was going to allow me to stay on earth or if he was going to take me. And so many things went through my mind in that moment. And I know that it was very quick, but it felt like a long time. I thought about my family. I thought about my friends. I thought about like my legacy. Like I thought about so many things in that moment. Like what is this? And I just remember begging God, like, please, God, like, please, like. And then there was a moment where I was like, is this it? Is this it? Like all of this life that I've lived, I'm only 38, so it hasn't been, forever, but all of this life that I've lived, is this it? But there was something inside of me that knew that God had more. In that moment, I was like, battling, like, God, I know, like, and that's why I just kept saying, God, please, like, no, I know that this can't be it. This can't be it. And so I brought my tissue. After the moment of silence, it was like the world just came back on. Like it was like a switch flipped, and no pun intended. A switch flipped and the world came back on. I hear OnStar come on. The lady's like, ma'am, we detect there's been a crash. Do you need help? Now, at this point, I am upside down in my car. The only thing that's keeping me is the seatbelt. And so I am trying to orient myself because I'm like, am I dead or am I alive? Like I genuinely did not know where I was in that moment. So I hear the lady asking me, do I need help? And I think I'm responding, but I'm not 100% sure. At that moment, I'm smelling smoke. So I'm like, let me try to get out of my car. Like I'm smelling smoke. I don't want anything to catch on fire. And then I can't get out. So I started to like go into survival mode. So I'm upside down and I'm like trying to get my seatbelt off. But I'm hitting it on the left side because I'm totally disoriented. And so I had to stop myself and say, like, your seatbelt goes from left to right. Like it goes across you like this. So I'm putting my hand down on the right side, but I can't feel the button to press because everything is like smashed up. So finally, I hit it, seatbelt comes loose, and I turn around and I see that my back windshield is completely blown out. Like all I see is the city of Chicago behind me. Like it was almost as if someone had rolled the window down. When I tell y'all, there was not a shred of glass in my back windshield. Nothing. Like it was completely blown out. So I start crawling towards the back because at this point my car is sitting like this. This is the front where the driver's seat is. This is the back where the back windshield is. It's like up on an incline. And so I'm like crawling up the incline. And when I get to the top, I'm like, I can't get out. Like there's nowhere to put my feet. Like I can't get out. So I start screaming for help. Like I'm like, help me, please. Somebody help, please. Please. Like screaming as cars going by. But then I see these cars pull over and two individuals help me get out of my car. One I know for sure was a man on my left. For the life of me, I can't tell you if it was man, woman, boy, girl, angel, whoever on my right. I genuinely cannot remember. So they helped me get out of my car and I just immediately go into a praise. Like immediately. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. So I'm just going. And when I turn around and look at my car, I'm like, wait, am I dead? Because how did I walk away from this? How did I walk away from this? So I had to like, bitch, are you here? Like, are you here? Looked at my hands. These are the same nails. Not a nail broken. Not a nail broken. I look at my clothes, like I'm not bleeding profusely, nothing. And so I just remember in that moment, like I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So tow truck comes and there's a lady named Shanice. And I'll tell you why Shanice is important. Shanice stayed with me the entire time that I was on the side of that road. That lady pulled over with her 3 children in the car to help me. She let me use her phone because, mind you, my phone, all of my belongings are in the car. Like the only thing I have on me is my coat, my wig, my watch. That's it. I have none of my belongings. She let me use her phone. I was able to call my mom, all of that. And so I'm so thankful that she was kind enough, even with her kids in the car. And it was cold, like it's wintertime in Chicago, but she stayed with me the entire time. She took pictures of the scene because I wouldn't have been able to, because again, my phone was inside the vehicle. So I wouldn't have had a way to take any pictures or anything. So tow truck comes, all the emergency services are showing up at this point. And the tow truck man was like, man, it's a good thing you had your seatbelt on because you would have surely been ejected from the vehicle. Like there's no way that you wouldn't have flown out of the vehicle. So for those of you who think you too cool, you think it's uncomfortable or whatever, put your seatbelt on. If it's too tight, go to the manufacturer of your car and get a seatbelt extender. They have them. I've been a big girl all my life. I can't say that I ain't never had a seatbelt extender. I get them on the airplane. I've had them in my car. Get a seatbelt extender if your seatbelt is too tight. Get that little pad that you can put on your seatbelt if it's uncomfortable for you for whatever reason. Seatbelts really do save lives. So buckle up, please. So they finally, like the tow truck man gets my car, flips it over on the wheels the way that it's supposed to be. And once he flips it over, he's like, okay, you can, go in your car, get your personal belongings and stuff like that. I wish I could have taken a picture of this because I don't think that people will believe me when I say, when that tow truck driver opened my driver's side door, my cell phone and my purse were sitting on the driver's seat as if someone had sat it there. I will not tell you a lie. My phone screen was not cracked. Nothing came out of my purse. Literally just sitting on the seat. I watched the man flip my car back on its wheels. You can't tell me God ain't real. You could never convince me that God isn't real, because how did my belongings get right on the seat? I mean, right on, and I was in the driver's seat, stuck. And I know for a fact that my purse and my phone weren't on my lap, but they were sitting on that seat. So I was able to get my phone. I was able to get my purse. And so I called my mom. I called my brother. There are emergency contacts in my phone, so they already got the crash notification. If you have an iPhone, make sure that your emergency contacts are selected in your phone, because if there's a crash or if something happens, they will get an alert. You don't have to worry about calling them, because Apple is going to make sure that they know what's going on. And it automatically shares your location, all of that stuff, so people will know where to find you. So anyway, I'm talking to my mom and my brother, and at this point, the paramedics are like, do you want to go to the hospital? Now, this is where the story shifts, and I can start to tell this story with a little bit more humor. I feel like I've gotten through the hardest parts. So they're like, do you want to go to the hospital? Da, 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 da. Now, mind you, if you've ever been in a car crash, you're in shock for quite a bit of time. So initially, I'm like, well, now that I know that I'm alive, do I necessarily need to go to the hospital? Like, I don't know. And so it was almost as if as soon as they asked me that, I started to like ache. Like my entire body from the crown of my head to the sole of my feet started to like ache. And I'm like, yes, like I need to go to the hospital. And then I was like, well, my mom's going to come and take me. And they're like, ma'am, do you see this traffic? Yeah, I had never even looked to see that traffic was completely stopped. Like, I had no idea what was going on in the world around me too much, but traffic was completely stopped. People were recording, because I'm telling you, I went straight into a praise. It was a lady who pulled her car over and was speaking in tongues, like, yeah, da, da, da. I mean, she went forth, okay? Like, so I didn't even notice any of that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to go in an ambulance. So the lady who hit me, they put her in the one ambulance that was already on the scene. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And they were like, you're going to have to wait for another ambulance, because basically you took too long to decide whether you want to go to the hospital or not. I'm like, okay. So the next ambulance gets there, and again, I'm still very disoriented, and I've never experienced anything like this for myself. Like, I've been in an ambulance before and ridden to the hospital, but it wasn't for me. I've done it with other people, but never for myself. So the ambulance gets there. They're like, oh, can you climb into the ambulance? And I'm like, yes. Y'all, I take one step and I feel like my shooting pain up my back, my knee, all of this. So I'm like, okay, something is wrong. So I get in and I sit on the little bench that's on the side of the ambulance. I'm like, I just sit down, and they're like, ma'am, you have to get on the gurney. And I was like, right, because I am the patient, I have to get on the gurney. So I get on there, and the paramedics start doing all this talking. You know, they going back and forth, and they like, oh, we're going to take her to Roseland. Roseland Community Hospital is a hospital in Chicago. It's in the hood. I was actually born there, but it ain't nowhere that I want to go, because I was like, I was born there, and if you take me back there, I will surely die. Like, please, please take me to a more reputable hospital, not Roseland Community Hospital. And so the one paramedic, the guy who was like taking my vitals and all of that, he was cool. But the other paramedic was a straight up asshole, y'all. So he tells the paramedic that's taking my vitals that oh yeah, she was hit, her car slid, but it didn't flip. I said, my car absolutely flipped. And he's like, well, that's not what, I don't care what they said. I pull out my phone. I show him a picture. I was like, that's my vehicle that flipped over. Well, yeah, you didn't let me get to that. So what did I think about in that moment? I thought about when Pastor Hannah said, watch how you respond. So the nigga in me wanted to go there because, sir, I was just in a life-threatening car accident. I have no reason to tell you that my car flipped over if it did not. And his whole disposition was just really rude. And so I said to him, I said, you're just being really rude right now. Now, mind you, my blood pressure at this point is like 171 over 100. Like the other paramedic is trying to get me to like calm down because, you know, all of that. And I had to reflect on what Pastor Hannah said, but I needed to tell him, like, the way that you are speaking to me right now is really rude. And he was like, oh, because I said your car didn't flip over. And at that point, I just chose to be quiet. I was like, I'm just going to be quiet. And so when they decided that they were going to take me to the University of Chicago, they called it in. They were like, oh, this is trauma. Her car flipped over. When they decided that they were going to take me to the University of Chicago, everything changed. Everything. So they're like, well, you have to get undressed. And I was like, what exactly does that mean? I have to get undressed. I'm going to the hospital. Why do I need to get undressed? And they were like, well, you're going trauma. So, you have to get undressed. We're going to give you a gown. I'm like, in the ambulance? Like, don't they give me a gown when I get there? I can go to the bathroom change. They were like, ma'am, are you unable to get undressed? Is that what the problem is? And so I told you I was sharp as a motherfucking tack on Sunday, January 11th. Brand new. I just took the tags off my clothes that morning. So the paramedic goes, are you able to take your jeans off or do we need to cut them off? Cut my jeans? Baby, if I had a peg leg, I was going to stand up and take these jeans off. Every bone in my body could have been broke. You weren't going to cut my pants off. No, these are brand new, sharp jeans. So I'm like taking my sweater off. I had this cute cardigan on. The denim in my cardigan matched my jeans, all of that. I'm taking my sweater off. I take my jeans off. Now, mind you, I'm struggling. They watching me struggle because, again, my whole body is like hurting at this point. Everything. So I'm like taking my jeans off, all of that stuff. And they put these things on my chest, I guess, to keep track of my heart and all of that stuff. So they putting all of this stuff on me. And as they're doing it, they steady like this. Now, mind you, this ain't the wig that I had on. The wig that I had on is currently being revamped. Like, new wig, everything new this year. New wig, new car, new phone, new nigga, everything. Like, everything's being revamped. So they steady like moving my hair out the way. And I'm sitting there like, y'all just gonna keep having to move it because surely they're not gonna ask me to take my wig off. Absolutely not. Like, if I can flip over in my car and slide multiple times and this wig stay intact, I'm not taking my wig off. So they steady like, oh, we just, yeah. And it's two men, by the way, so they don't understand. So the paramedic who was rude to me earlier says, do you mind taking that off? What? He's like, it's just, do you mind taking that off? I was like, my wig? Like, this is my hat, sir. It's cold. It's winter. I was like, do I absolutely have to? He was like, yeah, like you got to. Y'all, if someone was recording me, y'all would have gotten a good laugh, baby. I just couldn't bring myself to just like take off. Now, mind you, y'all, I'm in an ambulance about to go to the emergency room. Like the sirens were on. And I was in there like, I I'm like, slide it down. So the paramedic takes my wig and wraps it in my coat. So now I'm sitting there. Oh, I don't have the picture pulled up, but it is on my Instagram. Y'all can look on my Instagram. The picture is there. I'm also in a neck brace at this point. So I'm like that's why they couldn't. That was another reason why I had to take it off, because they had to put me in a neck brace. So I'm sitting there looking like somebody's stud ass auntie, naked not naked, but like panties from the waist down, bra, a hospital gown, no wig. I looked worse going to the hospital than I did when I got out of my car that was totaled in a car accident. Like, I never thought that would be me. And so we're riding to the hospital. I text my friends, letting people know, like, hey, I was, in this accident. I had called my boss, who is also my friend, thank God. I had called her, and she was like, just breathe, and talking me through it. Also, when you get into really traumatic situations like that, you don't realize that you don't be like, your brain is not thinking right. Because why did I call my boss? Like, surely I wasn't going to work the next day any goddamn way. But I was like, oh, I better call Jasmine and let her know. Like, I didn't know what else to do. Thank God she answered. Thank God she's my friend as well. Actually came to the hospital and sat with my mom along with my friend Genesis, my friend Richard. Thank God for them. They came and sat at the hospital with my mom so she wouldn't have to be there alone, because she was worried about her baby. She was very worried. So riding to the hospital, I snap a picture of myself because I'm like, I just cannot believe that this is happening. So when we get to the hospital and they are taking me out of the ambulance, the paramedic, who had previously been really, really rude to me, said, I just want to say, I am really sorry about how I spoke to you. He was like, I realize that sometimes I'm insensitive because I see this kind of stuff every day. So I don't, it's work for me. I don't think about how it makes people feel. So I want to apologize to you. And again, that sermon that Pastor Hannah had preached that morning came back up in my mind. Watch how you respond. Now, had I cussed that man out, had I went crazy, they probably would have cut my jeans just on some spiteful shit. You know what I'm saying? They probably would have been like, oh, you can't get your pants off, and cut my good fashion over jeans up. But they didn't. And I was really, really grateful for that. So they taking me out the ambulance. I am like naked, basically, with this thin ass gown on, no wig. They push me into the emergency room doctor fine as fuck, y'all. I'm like, oh my God, like, this was supposed to be my moment. Why did I have to meet this man under these terms? Like, titties going everywhere. Like, it was just a mess because I've lost a substantial amount of weight, so my breasts don't have as much value. So they just do whatever they want. Like, they just like flop it in the wind. A mess. I'm ashy as fuck. Like, everything that could go wrong was wrong. So I got really nervous when they took me back there, because just like on Grey's Anatomy or any of these medical shows you watch, like, it gets really, really busy. Like, they asking me what my name is. They opening my eyes. They like trying to roll me. They're telling me don't move. They're asking me, what year is it and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, where's my wig? Like, did y'all put all my belongings in the bag? Like, are my jeans in, like, where's my stuff? And so they're asking me all of these questions. Mind you, it's a trauma base. So they brought in a gunshot victim. The man across from me had just had a seizure. It was somebody to the right of me. All the doctors was talking, but she wasn't making no noise. So I don't know what was going on over there. So it was just a lot happening at one time. So anyway, they do a CT scan. They do all these x-rays, all of this stuff. And thankfully, nothing was broken. I did not have any type of internal bleeding. Definitely was concussed. lots of soreness, lots of inflammation all over my body. And not unwigged. Yes, I was definitely unwigged in that moment. So lots of, like I said, lots of inflammation all over my body. But the doctors and the nurses were just really, really kind. They were just, I felt like I had favor in that moment because it didn't feel like just run of the mill, like everybody just doing whatever they want. It was just like people were actually being really kind to me. And so I was very, very grateful for that. And I will say throughout that entire experience, part of me was like, what did I do to deserve this? Right? Like there were moments, and I still have moments where I get really angry, get really pissed off because I'm like, I wasn't doing anything but driving. I wasn't under the influence. I didn't even drink at the baby shower. Everybody took a shot and I had punch or ginger ale, whatever I had. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't drinking. I wasn't under any type of influence. It's like, why did this happen? And now I don't have a car. Like I'm, going to work. I got trips planned. I have other things to do. Like, why did this happen? So that angry emotion was very much present. But then there was definitely tons of gratitude, but also a ton of like sadness. Like it really made me sad to know like I could have died. Like I genuinely could have left here. And what I do know is God left me here for a reason. And I know that there is so much more for me to do. And if it ain't never been go time before, hear me when I say it's go time now. I will also say that I believe that all things work together for my good. I don't know yet what the good is that will come from this outside of me, living. I know that there's a purpose and a plan for why this happened. I don't know what that purpose or plan is, but I know that there's a reason why this particular incident happened on this particular day to me. I know that. So anyway, they do all of the things that they need to do. I had to use a bedpan because all of a sudden I had to pee like I never had to pee before. Had to use a bedpan. That was a very weird experience. And then they use like for people in the medical field, if you're here, there's like a catheter, but they don't like put it inside you. It kind of looks like a tampon or something like that. That was also a very weird experience. That may be too TMI, but just something to know if you ever have to go to the ER. You don't necessarily have to use a bedpan. They have this other device that you can use. And so when all that was said and done, I literally was able to get dressed, put my Fashion Nova fit back on, secured the wig back on my head, and was able to walk out of the emergency room and greet my family on my feet. And I am very, very grateful for that. Walking through the emergency room where there were people waiting who had all kinds of ailments, and I was able to walk, not wheeled, not on crutches, not on a cane, not in a body bag. I was able to walk out of that trauma bay and to be greeted by my boss, Jasmine, my friend Genesis, my friend Richard, and my mom. And I just was just very grateful. Very, 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 very grateful. And I'm still grateful to God for that. So that is the story. That is what I experienced. And now I'm going to tell you what I learned. because there's a lesson in all of this. And I think it's more important than sharing the story. I think that it is important for me to share what I learned and what I'm still learning from this situation. First and foremost, I am learning patience. I would never have considered myself a patient person. I'm the type of person, I like to get stuff done. And if I'm getting it done, I'm expecting that from other people too. I'm a mover and a shaker. I'm not patient, was not patient at work, wasn't patient in my romantic life, wasn't patient with my content creating. I'm like, why I don't have 100,000 followers? Like, I'm funny. Why I don't have 100,000 followers? Like, why don't I have, why haven't I been asked to be at the Grammys and the Oscars yet? Why am I not on TV yet? Like, not practicing patience at all. But this situation, baby, I don't rush for nothing. I just be like, okay, well, guess I'll just wait. I'm practicing patience. I have learned that patience is a virtue, and that's the number one thing that I've learned. In addition to that, how do I respond? And I want you to take that away from this video. Watch how you respond. Think about how you respond. When they was putting that lady in that ambulance, the lady who hit me and totaled my car, I watched them put her on the stretcher. I watched them put her in that ambulance. And it took everything in me not to call that lady out her name. I wanted to read the eyes out of her. I wanted to be like, I can't even say what I wanted to say. But I looked at her and I was just like, watch how you respond. Because all of this is going to work out in my favor. I am certain that all of this is going to work out in my favor. And I don't want to say something that may diminish what I know God has for me on the other side of this. When I was in the ambulance, that paramedic who was rude, I watched how I responded. Dealing with lawyers, insurance companies, the car finance company, the Gap insurance, watching how I respond. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you for being so kind. You're great. Like, watching how I respond. The other thing that I learned is getting down to the business. If you don't have Gap insurance, get it now. Tomorrow's Saturday. Monday morning, check your insurance policy or check with the company that your car is financed through. Don't wait until something happens. People get into car wrecks every day. Be sure that you have Gap insurance. I don't care how much it costs. If you gotta go a couple weeks without your weed, go a couple weeks without your liquor, go a couple weeks without your hookah, do that. Get you some Gap insurance, okay? Get you some life insurance. If you don't have life insurance because you think that nothing's ever going to happen to you, I hope it don't. But in the event that it does, have some life insurance. Get some life insurance. If you don't know if you don't know how to go about getting life insurance, ask ChatGPT. Surely someone that you know knows how to give you that information. On your car insurance policy, the next thing that I learned, make sure you have uninsured, underinsured. Make sure that's a part of your policy. And if you have that, make sure that it's about $250,000. Okay? Don't go getting the $10,000 level and the $5,000 because it costs 99 cents. We're getting a little bit older. Everybody on here, I'm sure, is of a particular age, right? We can't keep playing childish games. Get some underinsured, uninsured. Make sure that is a part of your policy. And if you can, get $250,000, but at least $100,000. I promise you it will benefit you. That was legal advice that I got in this process. Make sure you have that. The other thing that I learned is just be grateful for every single day. I didn't see that coming, y'all. I was having a good time with my friends, enjoying my friend's baby shower. She had her baby, by the way. Welcome to the world, Jordan. It was just a regular day. Did not see that coming. But I learned that I have to live every day, enjoy every day, not waste my time being worried and concerned about stuff that don't matter. I can't, I don't have that kind of time. Clearly, I don't have that kind of time. I have to focus on what's in front of me, focus on the positive, focus on the things that bring me joy, because that's what's most important. That is what is most important. One of the things that I also learned is like, what do I say to people when something traumatic happens to them? So I posted on my Instagram and on my Facebook the night that the accident happened. Like, I posted pictures of my car, made this whole post. I eventually deleted the post because I got a bit overwhelmed with all of the people like calling and texting me. Like, my phone rang that Monday and Tuesday, literally sun up to sundown. Sun up to sundown. And it wasn't a bad thing. Like, I wasn't like, oh, why is everybody calling me? But it was just overwhelming, right? Because I had to repeat the story so many times. And, you know, there's people who call and say, I know you don't, I can imagine you probably don't even want to talk about it. But what happened? And it's like, if you know I don't want to talk about it, why are you asking me what happened? But it made me reflect on, like, what do I be saying? When people like post that something happened to them, like, what do I say in response to them? And so one of the things that a lot of people said, and again, I'm not like angry with anybody. I don't think it was the wrong thing to say. That's not what I'm saying. But there were a lot of people who were like, yeah. Oh, and I mean, with many people that I talked to, I cried because talking about that experience was traumatic. And we're talking about 24 and 48 hours after it happened. Like, I still cry. I cried tonight telling the story. So it still is very like sensitive. But I would have people say like, yeah, you know, whew, I'm so glad you're here. Just, you know, you just got to try to be strong. What? Like, fuck being strong. I didn't sign up for the strongest soldier in the battle. Like, I didn't sign up for that. And in this moment, I'm not strong. And I feel like that should be okay. It's okay for me not to be strong in this moment. I can't. I'm weak as water because my entire body hurts physically. Mentally, I keep replaying this accident over and over in my mind, so much so that for the first week at least, and even sometimes now, I have a hard time going to sleep because closing my eyes and like going to sleep scares me. So people saying things like, yeah, you just got to be strong. Like, I can't. And I think that sometimes we don't know what to say. And so we say things like, be strong, you know, you just got to keep rolling. Well, yeah, I did actually, in fact, keep rolling down the expressway when the lady hit me and my car was rolling. Like, y'all, I already rolled. I rolled with the punches. Like, I did all the rolling that I want to do right now. I can't keep just rolling. I don't even have wheels to roll on. I don't have a car. So, like, give me a minute. Give me a minute. And I think as I don't necessarily want to make it a race thing, but sometimes I feel like Black people and Black women in particular, which is why I'm wearing this hat that says Black women are really everything. Because we are. We really are everything. But there's this expectation that when we experience something traumatic, the response is, you know, you just got to keep going. Well, obviously, I'm gonna keep going because I'm grateful for my life and I'm glad to have lived. But let me get a minute. Let me get a minute. Like, people deserve a minute when they experience something traumatic or something hard or something that, whether it's a physical incident, it could be something mental. We don't know what people have going on. And we cannot just be strong 24 hours a day. We can't just keep taking stuff on the chin and just keep on rolling along. That's not how it works. And that's why so many people end up needing more intense mental health support, because they're trying to be strong when really they're crumbling on the inside. Y'all know I'm very transparent about my life. I've talked about having weight loss surgery. I've talked about being in an abusive relationship. I've talked about this car accident. I'm a very transparent person. And some people aren't like that. And so maybe it's this, maybe I give off like I'm so strong, but y'all, I got a lot going on. I do. I have a lot going on. In this moment, I don't want to be strong. I don't. And so I just want us to be mindful and think about, like, what are we saying to people? What narrative are we pushing when people say, like, I'm tired. I'm not in a good space. We don't have to say, well, just keep on pushing. We gotta think of some other things to say, right? Maybe saying, like, I'm here to support you, actually meaning it, actually showing up. What do you need from me? Like that's where I tend to go. How can I support you? What do you need from me? And a lot of people, I am truly blessed. So many people reached out. So many people offered help. People have given me rides. People have offered me Ubers. Like, people have truly been a blessing. So I'm not saying this for me specifically. I just want us to think about how we respond. But that's my go-to. What do you need from me? How can I support you? Because if I didn't know before, I know now how hard it is to be strong my world literally crumbled. Like, my world literally crashed. So I just want us to be mindful and think about that. I know that everybody is not like a dark humor person. I very much am. And while this situation has been incredibly traumatic, what I do want you to know is that I'm going to spend my time laughing. I'm going to spend the rest of my days laughing. And sometimes when I think about all that I have going on, it's not funny. But like last week, I posted, like, I really want to make some videos. Like, I really want to make some content, but ain't shit funny. And it wasn't at that moment. But the more that I tell the story and the more that I talk about that man making me take my wig off and then wanting to cut my jeans, like, I find the humor in that. And so I don't know what type of humor or what makes y'all laugh or what makes y'all smile, but seek out those things. There's enough hell going on in this world, in this country, in our homes, on our blocks. There's ICE, there's the president, there's all of these things going on. If you can find something to make you laugh, do it. I will be laughing about this situation for the rest of my days. Because, again, while it wasn't funny when it was going on, sometimes when I think about it, I laugh a little bit. And laughter is like medicine. And I believe that laughter has been healing for me. I made a post that when I made the initial post, I said my wig was intact. And one of my friends, Charlie, when I talked about it later, he was like, I really wanted to laugh at that, but I didn't think it was the appropriate time. Y'all, I'm not sensitive like that. Like, I love to laugh. And I hope that I can bring laughter to my audience, to my followers, to my family and friends, the people who love me. Like, I really hope that I can always bring laughter to you, because that is so important and such a big part of my life and what I love to do. So, like, let's laugh. If I post something about this accident, like I posted myself in the neck brace, Dietrich called me. He was in the club, FaceTime me, cracking up laughing. I'm laughing with him. Like, that picture is funny. It didn't feel funny in the moment, but now looking back, it was absolutely hilarious. So spend some time laughing, y'all. Like, church is funny. Sometimes freak accidents, there's humor in that. Like, there's always humor in something. And I want us to seek out the joy. Seek the joy in everything that you go through, in everything that is happening and sometimes feels traumatic and is traumatic and it's hard and sometimes it makes you cry. But seek the joy. Surely there's something about that situation that will bring you joy. If it's nothing more than I am still here. I am still here. Despite all of the things that I've gone through, despite all of this, I am still here. And that is something to be said. So if I'm going to be here, I'm going to be smiling. I'm going to be laughing. And most importantly, I'm going to be giving God glory, because if it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? Where would I be? I love y'all. That is my story. I am so grateful that I was able to come on live and to tell this story. I've been trying to do this live for the last 2 weeks. I just could not, I really thought I was going to go live the week, like a few days after this happened. Baby, I set this room up and went to crying. I was like, I couldn't even speak. I was just like, nope, I can't do it. But now this has been very therapeutic for me. It has felt good to be able to share my story, share my testimony, and to laugh about it a little bit. I love y'all. If y'all are following me, if you are subscribed to my YouTube, I thank you. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Please follow me on all social media platforms at Rhonda on the Rocks. Don't forget the H in Rocks. I love y'all. I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. And there's so much more work to be done. Hit me up. Let's talk. Let's laugh. Let's collab, and let's seek and find the joy in everything. Power want to say bye to y'all too. He's jumping on my lap. It's my little baby. The little boy. That's the little boy. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you for everything. And I will see y'all soon. Bye. Oh, now you know we don't kiss. You're a black dog.